Crypto DLT with Mr. Connector. Be sure to subscribe. Hit the notification bell for daily content. Let's go.
It's Mr. Connector. What's up, everybody? What's going on out there in the world of distributed ledger land? I'm coming to you live in Connector Vision today. You guys know I'm always experimenting with my video effects. Doing pretty good today. It's been a little while since I've streamed, but I'm back at it, guys. Good to have you guys in the chat already. Silver Days, Kevin Land. What's up, Kevin? Good to have you on the channel. And Maximum FOMO, 123 on the podium. Let's go. We've got crypto on our mind today in distributed ledger tech. What's happening with the closing bell over at on CNBC? We've got a little bit of Ethereum shade going on, guys. We know that the true high value is in utility in the end, guys. So will Ethereum survive? This guy here from it's his Bill Miller being interviewed from Miller Value Partners portfolio manager, says he doesn't think Ethereum will win in the end. Let's check this out right quick. Let's get right into it, guys. Good to have you already tuning in.
Thanks for coming on. Always good to catch up. I'd love for you to kind of set a framework in terms of what has happened that bears on crypto investing space in terms of policy and in specific ways why you think that's going to be helpful from here as opposed to it being kind of the thing the market was kind of working toward and handicapping all the way.
So what he's got to say about policy.
Yeah, so
about the Genius Act already passed, guys. The president signed that the other day, but I think that's a few days till it becomes effective. I think 120 days, which is like November 15th. Until it becomes effective. So, guys, we know we're still in it, right? The Ripple case is still going. People even say that the Ripple case is over. No, the judge hasn't even ruled on settlement, and there has to be a final closeout from the judge. So we're still in the middle of it, guys. Hold your horses. We've been patient this long. Let's keep it going.
Landmark pieces of legislation advanced in the past couple of weeks.
And that's the Genius bill, which is signed into law, like I said, and the anti-CBDC and the Crypto Clarity Act are sent over to the Senate. Still has to go through the Senate, so it still has quite a process to go through.
First, the Clarity Act, which is meant to provide regulatory clarity on how regulators and various agencies oversee various types of digital assets. Second is the Genius Act, meant to regulate stable. That
Clarity Act is going to bring definitions. We don't even have definitions yet, guys. It's wild. We know that the legacy banksters, they like no laws. They like it to be ambiguous. That way they can skirt around everything. But we know that crypto clarity comes from regulations.
Coins, and then third is the anti-CBDC Surveillance Act, which is meant to prevent government overreach in the creation of a central bank digital currency. But one of these that's the most interesting to me, I guess, would be the Clarity Act, specifically because I think the way that it was written grandfathers in certain blockchains and advantages them relative to what would happen if they were launched today. So if you look at the way the legislation was written, it allows technologies like Ethereum and Solana blockchains to be classified as decentralized. When they're actually not, and if they were launched today, they would go through a much different process.
So he's saying Ethereum and Solana are actually not decentralized. Imagine that, guys. If they were launched today, they'd go through a different process. What'd he say?
Then they're going to go through now that they're being grandfathered in. Now, whether or not.
So they've gotten the help from being grandfathered in. Imagine that.
This technology ultimately gives these other blockchains enough of a step forward on Bitcoin.
Maybe that's why they went after Ripple. Another reason they went after Ripple, to give them time to get established so that it would be grandfathered in. Ethereum, it sure wouldn't be decentralized. Vitalik even said Ethereum, I know we're on 2.0 now, I guess. I'm not even a big Ethereum guy, but Vitalik said that it was just a prototype. Wow.
Remains to be seen. It is my perspective that the underlying technology will ultimately win the day.
That's
so
right.
If you look at these grandfathered in technologies like Ethereum and Solana, they're proof of stake technologies. And what that means is if I have a big stake in the blockchain, I get to say what happens. That's exactly how society works today, and it's not really a technological revolution. What's so different about Bitcoin is the governance of it and its proof of work consensus mechanism.
Yeah, good question, Kevin Lynn. What you guys think XPR will hit this year? Yeah, I think XPR is going to do great this year, especially because of the, they're talking about moving it to the metal blockchain, and we got a good indication of that coming pretty soon from Marshall about XPR moving over to metal. And metal is BSA, AML compliant. They are already set up. It's wild. Good to have you, Turple Nurple and Evan, XRP. What's up, my fellow investors? Pioneers, hashtag XRP. I like XRP, XLM. We'll get to my connector coins in just a minute. Don't forget about XPR, metal. I like all that, guys.
So
we got everybody say what's up to Kevin. Kevin's a newbie in the chat. Good to have you, Kevin.
We tend to believe that the energy intensivity that's tied to new creation of Bitcoin is a game-changing technology. And so, you can speculate as to why things like Ethereum have had this pop in the past few weeks. That's my perspective, is because this legislation has helped them have a leg up. I don't think at the end of the day they're going to win.
So
let's hear that again.
Is a game-changing technology. And so, you can speculate as to why things like Ethereum have had this pop in the past few weeks. That's my perspective, is because this legislation.
Why has Ethereum had a pop the past few weeks?
It's helped them have a leg up. I don't think at the end of the day they're going to win.
At the end of the day, they're not going to win, says Bill Miller. Let's keep listening. This is good, guys. What's up, everybody tuning into the chat, coming in? Good to have you.
So I guess this would enable essentially the way it all comes together is the government is now saying we are not going to declare certain of these crypto activities to be contrary to regulation as it stands right now. In other words, it's a tacit endorsement that this stuff can exist in this form and can continue to develop. But develop toward what? I really think is that an issue still? Or is it just, hey, Bitcoin, because of all the attributes you mentioned, is a great store of value and can continue to be?
Yeah, well, that's exactly the question. People need to.
Guys, we saw exactly where this is going. They delay long enough. They try to suppress technology to have it where it's not actually used long enough to get more and more people in with this big campaign on Ethereum and Bitcoin and put all this money into Ethereum and Bitcoin to get more and more investors in, to get it grandfathered in just because it's so big. It's too big to fail. That's their whole modus on Ethereum and Bitcoin. Not that it can stand on its own legs like some of these utility projects we're into.
You start thinking about what problem these various blockchains solve. And the answer is most of them don't actually solve any real problems except Bitcoin. The problem that Bitcoin solves is really simple.
And it does solve like a money sovereignty problem, but that store value away from governments. But doesn't that apply to all the other cryptos as well with utility?
The least accountable party, which makes the most promises that it can't deliver upon, gets elected and put into office. They then follow through on as much promises as they can deliver, and in the process they create new ledger units, right? So in this case, you look at the deficits going through the roof. This isn't a Reddit thing or a blue thing. This is just a process thing. And the problem that Bitcoin solves is that accountability issue exactly. You have a currency whose supply protocol is laid out clearly ahead of time. You have 24/7, 365.
And that does mean a lot. A capped supply versus fiat, which is increasing money supply, the number of units all the time, which is decreasing the value. This isn't rocket science. Bitcoin, of course, it's good with that. But also, aren't these other utility coins good with that? That's my argument. I hope, guys, if you hold Bitcoin, I hope you guys make money. You probably made money already. I just don't get it. That's just Connector's take on it, What's up, Lizard King? Good to have you in the house, buddy.
Visibility into who owns what, where capital's going.
Yeah, it's me. I'm back. That's me, Mr. C. I see you with the question marks on the end there. Yeah, I'm still around. I know I took off a week, but we're back at it, guys.
And that's just not the case today. So if you think about what problem these other technologies solve, the answer is it's really nothing at all. Bitcoin already solved it. It's already got the liquidity, the attention, the momentum behind it to keep going, and it's got this first mover advantage.
So he's a little more proponent of Bitcoin over Ethereum, which I can see that. We've thought back in the day, for a long time now that Ethereum, Bitcoin will get a pass. It's so big, too big to fail. That was the whole point of it. It's going to get grandfathered in.
Very hard to catch up to at this point.
And then, you've been kind of ahead of the curve in terms of implementing that view through owning things like Strategy, MicroStrategy, which, these companies that essentially sell, they raise cash to buy Bitcoin, do it in a leveraged way, do it in a way that they can finance pretty well. Now, Strategy's gone kind of sideways in this last little while. I wonder if there's anything changing in the market's reception of that approach.
Yeah, I don't think there is. Stocks bounce around, technologies bounce around, prices bounce around. It's my take that in 20 to 30 years, every company might be a Bitcoin treasury company. And the reason for that is what I just mentioned. The underlying protocol for what we're representing as value is much more stable in Bitcoin than it is with fiat technologies. So, we own Strategy. You look at the deal that Michael just did with STRC. Many.
Congratulations, Turple Nurple. His wife just had a new daughter 3 days ago. Wow. Now I have 4 kids to pass the bag to. There you go. Set them up. There you go. Mr. Crypto Boombastic. Bags are packed. Good to have you guys.
Times oversubscribed. And what I think is likely to happen moving forward is people are going to look around and the bond managers that are buying the Bitcoin-related bonds are going to outperform the ones that don't. And the equity fund managers that buy Bitcoin-related stuff are going to outperform the ones that don't. And people are going to keep looking around and going, how do I do that? Oh, I buy stuff that's tied to Bitcoin.
So, it looks like Bitcoin's going to get a grandfathered in. And we know that some of these companies are going to be having Bitcoin treasuries. Its market cap is high enough to get it through the door, it looks like. But all these other coins, utility coins, are going to be what brings the real value in the future, especially with legislations coming in. Yep, congratulations to Turple, says Silver. Good deal. Wow, yeah, that's pretty awesome, Turple. Good on you, brother. And we've got, where is it at? One more. We've got DAI on kind of the same thing. Check out his post today. Everyone's starting to figure it out now. JP Morgan banked Mt. Gox, the Bitcoin first exchange there. JP Morgan was working on Ethereum before the mainnet launch. JP Morgan visited Ripple's offices in 2017. I don't think they liked the way that meeting went when they visited. I think they got shot down. So then SEC sues Ripple in 2020. Heathgate is uncovered. JP Morgan works with Ethereum, which is never touched. JP Morgan develops their own digital asset strategy while Ripple is captured by the regulators. Ripple experiences every kind of attack known to crypto, including a media blackout from 2017 until now. And we saw it, guys. That's one reason I got into XRP, was because it was being attacked so much, which is kind of like the Streisand effect. You remember Barbara Streisand didn't want anyone to take pictures of her mansion on the coast. She didn't want drones flying over taking pictures of her mansion. That's what brought attention to it, though. And that's what brought attention to us, because it was being attacked. But they had to risk that. They needed time to build it out and try to get more backing upon these early investments they have, into some of these coins that have Ponzi-nomics. And they could they could use multiple identities to purchase the pre-sale, the IPO for Ethereum. But I guess he's saying now Paul Barron's catching on. Yeah, Paul Barron was he was not really XRP when I started watching. Maybe I need to start watching him again. He's covering it more and more now. But yeah, let's get into the connector coins. One more before we do that. We have a big, massive Trump trade deal signed with the EU just now. President Trump and Ursula von der Leyen agreed that the U.S. will cut tariffs on European goods down from 30% to 15%. In return, the EU will open its markets to U.S. products. with no tariffs, and buy $750 billion worth of American energy, invest $600 billion into the U.S. economy, and purchase a huge amount of U.S.-made military gear. Trump called the deal a win for everyone and said it will bring the U.S. and EU closer. Von der Leyen said that the agreement will bring stability. So just want to show you that. There's 25 seconds
and
here.
The relationship is very strong with NATO. So I just want to congratulate you. I think it's great that we made a deal today instead of playing games and maybe not making a deal at all. I think it's, I'm going to let you say, but I think it's the biggest deal ever made. Thank you very much. Congratulations.
The biggest deal ever made, says Trump. Good deal. What's up to my one viewer over on Rumble? Trying to promote Rumble a little better. Maybe I'll do some Rumble only streams one day and get you guys to get away from YouTube a little bit. We'll see. We'll see. I started watching Rumble a little bit this weekend. There's some wild conspiracy shows over on Rumble. You know, when people can speak their minds, pretty good. It's their app's getting way better. The app on the TV and the phone. Okay, we got the connector coins pulled up. What's popping off today on the connector coins? Zebek's up 9% today, 26 on the 30-day. Most of this stuff's in the red though, but we do have a few tokens on the connector coin list that are in the green, barely in the green. I've got that Pulsara's up 6.7%. Persistence, that's one of my guesses, guys. I did put some Cosmos rewards into persistence. I mean, look there, it's 80% down on the year. Now, I was saying in my last stream that I hope you guys remember that the SEC had that crypto roundtable about 2 months ago, and they were explaining how it's going to be needed that you send your coins to a custodian, right? Like a bank or whatever, qualified custodian, insured, FDIC, and then they're going to duplicate these coins, which is called liquid staking. They're going to duplicate them so that we can use them in DeFi and staking models. So they're not going to use the same coins. They're not going to keep these have these coins vulnerable, right? They're going to use a liquid staking coin like something like maybe XPRT is a guess of mine, because it's the liquid staking option for the IBC Cosmos ecosystem, which there's a lot of great coins over there on that ecosystem. So I did put a few rewards into that. We've got Tron up barely today. Tron's going, they went public. Justin Stone rang the fake stock bell the other day. And we know that their strategy is probably going to be like MicroStrategy. They're going to have stock, and they're going to collateralize the stock and the Tron so they can buy more and more Tron, so they can do the same thing, rinse and repeat. And some people call that a Ponzi scheme. Some people like Michael Saylor calls it an economy. But you know that can only happen if it keeps going up and up, which it may. I'm not saying it won't. I'm saying that some of us may want to hop on that train, ride it up, right? COREUM. I'm a big fan of COREUM, and they're still going live from what I hear with Texture Capital. Coming up soon. It's in August sometime, where they're going to tokenize every stock on the stock market. What's up, Mojo? No problem, sir. Or ma'am. I've got loan. Yeah, I don't know some of these accounts. I assume, I don't know why I'm even worried about it, but maybe you're female. There is a few females in the space. Appreciate having you guys. We've got Loan Protocol up barely. Metal Blockchain, Casino Coin, Veritasium, and XDC. Barely in the green there. Okay, cool. Let's check out the American cryptos today. The past 24 hours, what's popping off in America? Hyperlane. What is Hyperlane? That's doing 12% today, 45 on the 7-day. We do like to take a quick look at different American cryptos, see what they're all about. Mojo, OJ female. Yeah. Welcome, welcome. Welcome back, Mojo. Oh, you got one of the Berserker's 8-bit NFTs. I got you now. Man. Okay. All right. Yeah, no need to clarify. I got you now. All right, cool. What is hyper lane? What is hyper lane? Get some music going. It's a pioneering interoperability layer designed to connect the modular blockchain ecosystem, enabling seamless communication across diverse blockchain environments such as layer 1s, rollups, and app chains. Okay, interoperability here. Built with focus on permissionless deployment, Hyperlane empowers developers to bridge chains effortlessly while offering customizable security models. Wow, sounds complicated. Has a mailbox system to allow for secure and efficient cross-chain communication. Another cross-chain communication protocol. How many does that make, guys? That's an Ethereum contract. Pretty wild. All these cross-chain projects coming out. What's up, Jeffrey? What's up? What up, glitches? Good to have you guys. Gary, what's up, Gary? We love some 8-bit titties. I hear you. Yeah, Buster's got some cool NFTs. Those are pretty cool. What else do we have? We've got price changes on categories. What categories are popping off today? Vinecoin. Whatever Vinecoin is, that's pulling up. Startup memes up 33%, and internet capital markets, same thing with Vinecoin. TokenFi Launchpad, Simon's Cat is bringing that up. All right, Gemini is up 8%, or 13%, bringing up the Zodiac themed memes, I guess. 8%. A lot of these categories I have no clue. I just like to keep an eye on the different categories. I think that's a good thing to do. Cat themed memes. I'm not very much into memes, but I like to know what's going on. DAO Maker. I like DAOs, decentralized autonomous organizations. What's not doing good? Cooking City Ecosystem, Terminal of Truth, and Reddit points are down today with subreddit Fortnite BR bricks bringing Reddit down, and virtuals are down today. Okay, let's keep it moving. We got a connector news coming in. Our crypto calendar events on CoinMarketCap. Today's Monday, July 28th. We're almost into August. What is the, we have the White House digital asset paper that's coming out Wednesday. Their strategy. So I got a bookmark on that in just a minute. Jeffrey says, when are there going to be connector babies? Oh, yeah. That'd be cool. Silver freaking days, says Jeffrey Dahmer. I'm on a Evernote kick now. Okay. Yeah, Evernote's a good chain. Basically need something to accumulate that's not priced to the moon. That's always good. Tech looks promising. Definitely. I've got Evernote on the connector coins. Calendar events today. DYDX community. Approve a whitelist update. Now let's just scroll through these quick. See if there's any projects that we know of. Cosmos SDK, a smoother engine for better performance. IBC, better cross-chain compatibility. A new release from Crow. Cubic proposals. There's several teams requesting funding from the computer-controlled fund present their proposals. Several teams presenting a cubic proposal. AMA. Okay. Omni Exchange farming pools boosted. What else? What is this right here? Gravity. I am part of the Gravity. I did sign up for that to be a tester for the new Gravity wallet coming out. It's a big interoperability wallet built on Cosmos, from what I understand. And they say Monday be ready. Okay. Good to know, Gravity. What else do we have? COW protocol launches as a DEX on Avalanche with MEV protection and no gas fees. That's a good thing. No gas fees. Nice. I think that's about it. We burned through that. Let's keep it going. We want to check out total crypto market cap. Today, we are sitting at what looks like $3.83 trillion. And to get an idea, this is the 1 year chart from today last year. So it looks like we're going up, guys. That looks good. You know, just last October, I mean, almost a year. Well, here's a year ago. August, of course, July 30th, 2.28 trillion. So we're up 1.6 trillion in 1 year. What's up, Angus Grimm? Good to have you, buddy. Happy Monday. Yeah. Smash those likes, guys. Appreciate that. Purple's glad he held his flare drops. Oh, yeah. What else is there? We got the Bitcoin dominance chart. Let's see. Does this refresh automatically? I think so. Yeah. So over the 1 year, there's your Bitcoin dominance. Little pullback. Just last month, it was up to 65. Now it's 61. Good deal. Listed funds for the COREUM, 2 times daily long. I did trade out some of my, I told you guys I have a Roth IRA, and I did get into this Friday on the pullback, and you can see here it's down to 46, and the gray is after hours. So wish me well on that. See how that does in that Roth IRA. You know, that's XRP is the ticker. And that's the 2 times daily long XRP ETF. I got out of, what did I get out of? Circle and eToro were my 2 crypto stocks. And I got out of those and put it into XRP on the pullback Friday. Always looking to get in cheap somewhere. So we'll see how that does. That's a little scary though, the 2 time daily long. You know, it can go up 2x or go down 2x. So wish me luck on that. The stock market, S&P 500 today. Kind of bland looking. Not as exciting as crypto. Tesla's down 8%. Nvidia up barely. Amazon up barely. Just keep it going. There's that circle. 5-day. I think I sold right about here, maybe. There's the all-time since it came out. Circle. Coinbase, what's it doing at 379? There's a 6-month chart on Coinbase, holding strong. And let's look at the Dixie chart, 98 for that. Cool. While we're looking at currencies, let's look at real money. Gold and silver, $3,371 for gold. That was wrong. Let me refresh. $3,313 for gold. $38 for silver. Like seeing that. I expect silver to do way better. You sold the QNT? No, not me. Oh, he's talking to Lizard. I fully funded my 25 Roth with 80 quant. Oh, wow. Nice. Maybe he got back into it. But that's a good thing to have as a Roth IRA for the future. Always looking to the future, guys. Okay, let's take a look at crypto panic. Jeffrey says, how can a swap be a taxable event if you swap for a stablecoin? Good idea. I mean, that's a good point. I guess that's what they consider, though. Stable coins are like fiat. This one, XRP outshines Bitcoin and ETH in this crucial metric, but prices take a hit. I just looked at this before the stream, and it's just about XRP being preferred in Asia more. So we know that. U.S. Treasury yields jump 8 to 6 basis points. We're hoping that the meeting Wednesday, the FOMC meeting, we're hoping that they decide to bring down interest rates. You know, the Fed, Trump sure called them out the other day. Of course, that's probably all a show, you know. But I saw where a judge may put a hold on the privacy of these FOMC meetings, and somebody's suing to make that public. It's supposed to be public all this time. All the meetings have been in the public eye. Of course, we like that better. Anything in the public eye, better for us. We're sick of all this obfuscation and hiding and CYA everywhere. It looks in government. And it looks like Trump's trying to expose that. Democrat senators raise concerns over a FHFA crypto order. What is this? FHFA crypto order. 5 Democrat senators led by Jeff Markley, Elizabeth Warren, and Bernie Sanders have all asked the FHFA director. What is that? Fannie Mac? Oh, yeah. Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, asking the director why Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac asking them why Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac would count unconverted. I'll get it right here, guys. Asking why Fannie Mae and Fannie Mac would count unconverted crypto, so your native cryptos, as mortgage reserves, citing the volatility, the theft and liquidity hazards that could raise default risk and shake housing finance. Good question. I mean, I'm sure they would need to be custodied, right? And a qualified custodian to be counted, I would assume. I don't think they're going to count your reserves if they're in your wallet for a mortgage-backed reserves if you got control over them. Maybe that's the whole point of this liquid staking, is to let us have control over them while the qualified custodian actually holds the original coins, and we get to use derivative of those coins to use in staking or DeFi or whatever we want to do with it. Use them in a permission DEX. Something that there's a lot to be worked out. There's a lot of questions that still need to be answered, guys, when you dive into this stuff and how it's changing legacy finance so much and giving us so much more options. I can understand being concerned for that. White House confirms first Bitcoin and crypto report will release on Wednesday. The Bitcoin Strategic Reserve is on its way. But don't forget, Trump mentioned XRP as the first coin in that strategic reserve. And what did he say? XRP, Solana, and ADA. And then, what was it? 15 minutes later, he came back and said, oh yeah, of course, Bitcoin and Ethereum. And then the pundits try to say that he was fooled. Trump was fooled into saying XRP and Solana and ADA. that Ripple, what am I thinking of? A Ripple lobbyist fooled Trump into putting XRP first. Like he doesn't know what's going on with that. What's up, G Money, bro? The future needs to be given the power back to the people. I hope it's coming, G Money. We know that's what this man here wants when he got elected in 2016. I think it was a long play, guys. I think we're about to see some stuff. You saw the weird things that have been going on. Everybody sees it. It's making us questioning a lot of things, opening our eyes to a lot of things.
I want to invest in something because how the books and records are kept. It's almost immutable.
We saw the military and him on his inauguration day. What was up with that? He got up to make his speech, and the military's behind him, and then they just leave in the middle of his speech. Something was going on with that. We know there's been a lot of inconsistencies like that. I mean, a lot of people say he didn't even swear on the Bible. You can think two different ways on that, though. I guess this past time he didn't swear on the Bible, but there might be something deeper, guys, that we don't know about. All right, Maximum FOMO, we have to prove our ownership of the assets we use as collateral. Yep, you have to prove it, but after you prove it, it's a good question some of the Democrats are raising about the volatility of the assets and moving them after you prove it. Are they going to be able to keep an eye on those wallets, and as soon as you move it, it's going to trigger something? There's a lot to be worked out with that, using collateral for mortgages. Where we go one, we go all. That's right, Turple. Yeah, transferring power back to we the people. Can't wait, guys. I got a really good feeling about it. I've had it for a while. About the future, how good it's going to be, how things are going to be fixed. Really positive, optimistic. If you bought on an exchange that is no longer in your country, how could you prove your ownership? I think that's right. It does have to be on an exchange. I think I did see that. It has to be on like Coinbase or a qualified exchange, and it has to stay there. That's right. Maybe Coinbase is always doing deals. Maybe they've worked out a lockup mechanism or something. Just pump the bags. I'll take care of the lizards. You get them, Lizard King. Let you round them up. I wonder if they grandfather people that were in before the regs. Definitely possibility on a lot of things. Grandfather in a lot of things before the regs, yeah. Get in where you fit in. White House confirms first Bitcoin and crypto report will release this Wednesday. Bitcoin Strategic Reserve is on the way, says the Bitcoin Archive. First they ignore it, then they laugh at it, then they publish a report on it. Strategic Reserve is not. This move is about control, not belief. You don't build resilience through policy, you build it through systems that can't be manipulated. That's a good comment there from IAE, sir. Okay. China Industrial Bank fast tracks AI-driven stablecoin plan amid dollar dominance threat. AI-driven stablecoin plan. Everybody is getting a stablecoin, even AI. It's pretty wild. Let's check this out.
Hey there, Maine. What's up?
Hey, can you give me a detailed summary of this page, please?
Absolutely, Maine. The page talks about China's industrial bank speeding up its plan to integrate AI with stablecoins. They're focusing on creating a smart industrial bank and have plans to expand research in digital finance. The article also highlights how China is looking into yuan-backed stablecoins, possibly to challenge the dominance of dollar-based currencies. There's talk about using AI to boost risk management and compliance while aligning with China's broader digital economy goals. Super interesting moves on the
AI stablecoin plan amid dollar dominance threat. And they're having to counter the dollar and all these stablecoins that are propping up the dollar through the treasury markets. So we saw that coming. I wonder what that has anything to do with BRICS still. Trump says BRICS is dead, but some still say it's going. They still meet, right? So maybe they're working it out. And I can't help but think that all these trade deals has a lot to do with what we're into, guys. They don't ever talk about that. None of these journalists ever ask any questions about currency manipulation and stablecoin projects to do with tariffs. Accepting stablecoins. We did see where the EU caved on our stablecoins. They are now letting dollar-backed stablecoins into the EU and vice versa. So that's good. I mean, that's got to be part of the tariff negotiations, I would think. Maybe it's not on paper, but Trump's all about saving the dollar, so that's a big deal. PayPal to let businesses accept Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, and Solana to reduce cross-border costs. So what's going on at PayPal? I've got a bookmark on that. PayPal, tired of paying high transaction fees for international payments. Wired, reducing costs up to 90% by offering pay with crypto for payments. Reducing international transaction fees by up to 90%. That should be more than that, I would think. Of course, PayPal wants to get their little cut. It's the battle of the shaving of the fees, guys. It should be down to zero, right? Or the fee of a blockchain. 90% doesn't seem enough to me to reduce the fees up to 90%, but that's PayPal's strategy. Offer 100 plus cryptos in eligible wallets at checkout. Get immediate access to funds. PayPal was making all of this and more easily accessible and available through Pay with Crypto, a new payment method that allows merchants to reach more than 650 million crypto users and allow them to pay using any of the hundreds of eligible wallets and cryptos. I just went on my PayPal app and did the whole verification deal with them. Just to have another option, It's always good to have options. Evan, XRP, the age of Aquarius technology and enlightenment is upon us. That's right. We're here at the right time, guys. Jeffrey says cross-border costs will but wait until you pay Bitcoin and Ethereum gas fees. Yeah, true that. That's not going to be used for that. VELO called Jeffrey's friend a CBDC guinea pig for asking who a person was that he posted a video that should be on a shirt. Okay. A CBDC guinea pig. We know all the NPCs are going to accept those CBDCs. Thanks, Gary says the AI agents need to get paid. Yep. Pay with crypto. Choose your account. Coinbase, Binance, MetaMask, PayPal, Kraken. Okay, this is this a new app? that integrates with PayPal. I know PayPal's got crypto within the app. We've got the National Crypto Association replying, congratulations, it's great to see PayPal bringing real crypto utility to businesses and consumers by reducing fees and boosting accessibility. But you can look at it another way, guys. They want you to spend your crypto. They want it, right? And a lot of these companies, they're not going to be converting it. They're going to be adding it to their treasury once you send it to them, right? So be aware out there. And also, it's official, PayPal is live on Topper. You can now purchase digital assets using PayPal on Topper. And of course, Topper integrates with Zaman Wallet. Here's something special for our American audience. You can now use PayPal via Topper by Uphold to buy XRP in the Zaman wallet. Purple's not paying with crypto until he's getting paid in crypto. Yeah, Lizard King, it seems like we're all ear hustling on the Titanic. Yeah, we all need to get paid in crypto. That's the best on-ramp, right? When these employers will pay you in stable coins. Simple, easy peasy. So that's good to see Zaman Wallet available for buying XRP directly in the wallet, in the Zaman Wallet for Americans now. Good deal. Let's get back to Crypto Panic. Check that out. What's up to my 5 Rumble streamers? Good to have you guys over there on Rumble. I think I can chat directly to Rumble here. Yo. Rumble. You guys make sure to subscribe to me over there on Rumble. I may be doing some Rumble only streams just to try to bring some of you guys over there, but I'll let you know. I'll make a post or something about it when I do. That's a good, nice freedom channel over there on Rumble. Jeffrey Connector, you remember that song from the 80s by Pig Bag? Papa's got a brand new pig bag. Great instrumental. Okay, cool. Is that what it was called? Pig Bag? I thought it was just bag. Papa's got a brand new bag. I don't know. I don't know what a pig bag is. Is that like a leather suitcase? That's probably what it is. That's a good song though. Yeah, totally. G-Money, PayPal was trying to restrict U.S. folks from using their services for purchasing arms or ammunition. That's right. I forgot about that. So yeah, there's always that to be worried about. Restrictions. You can't be free. Where DeSantis has announced a tax-free holiday for ammunition coming up soon. I don't know when it is. You gotta love Florida. Monero community pushes back as Cubic's 51% hash rate bid falters. What happened over there on Cubic? Cubic's hash rate. Was it a 51% attack on Cubic? Maybe not. A fast-moving fight over mining power consumed Monero's weekend after Sergey Ivanchelos used X to promote an economic campaign to dominate the network's hash rate, which was met by a community resistance. The fight escalated after Evangello, the figurehead behind Cubic, and oh, daggone, every time I highlight it, something goes away. Let me find that again. The fight escalated after Evangello, the figure behind Cubic and better known as come from beyond CFB confirmed the takeover intentions with the incentive-driven 51% attack. So Cubic's trying to take over Monero. What it looks like with a 51% attack for hash rate. Interesting. It's pretty wild, guys. Some of these coins, don't forget about those 51% attacks. That's still a viable thing, guys. You know, all it takes is money to do a 51% attack on a network. And governments print money every day, right? So some of your networks have that vulnerability. Some of them don't, though. I think that Pay with Crypto is its own app, is what it looks like. Powered by PayPal. It might be a separate app. Let's see. I don't know. Trump most likely to pardon billionaire crypto founder as odds hit 30%. I guess is, yeah, CZ. Polymarket traders bet on crypto figures like Binance founder CZ and FTX founder SBF and Terraform founder Do Kwon to be pardoned by Trump. I hope he doesn't pardon SBF. Come on. Unless there's a bigger plan, guys. You know, it's hard to keep trusting the plan, trust the plan. But we're still in the middle of this stuff. So I'm going to keep all options on the table, right? We know there's a lot of strategy to be played out there. And just because you hear something that you don't like doesn't mean that it's actually what's going on, you know. There's a lot hidden, guys. And we're here for the changeover, though. What a time to be alive, you know. Solo Bitcoin miner beats the odds to mine the entire block. That's crazy how Bitcoin you can do that and get rewarded for mining the entire block. Wow. To me, the best incentive is no incentive. You know, all this strategy that comes upon the fees that are charged in Bitcoin and Ethereum. It's pretty wild. Some people are even, you know, on Ethereum. I'm not a big expert on Ethereum, of course. But from what I understand, you can choose, you can have it where you can choose your block producer of your transaction. So what does that lead to, guys? That leads to money laundering. If you can choose to validate your own transaction and pay, you know, there's so much out there, guys. I saw where someone was saying that one of the big Bitcoin sell-offs recently was a big market sale, and they only got a small amount of currency because they did a market sale on a huge amount of Bitcoin, which is on its face stupid, right? Because it drove the price down. He didn't get as much, of course, right? But I saw in the comments that one thing that makes sense when they do that is they're buying the positions, the leveraged positions, the longs that get leveraged out. They can actually go in and buy them up, buy up those positions. I'm not a big expert on margin trading or anything like that, but I do know that that you can buy up different people's positions that are already in these longs. So he could be ready to buy up all, and he could drive the price down with a big market sell, big market order, and get ready. And you can see all the longs that are up there. You can see them and see how much they are and get ready, and you can buy all of them up. And he actually come out on top in the end, right? There's always a way around something. Turple says, trust the plan versus plan to put it in a trust. Yeah. Cell block C. Should be year round. Shall not be infringed. I like that one. Yep. Oh, the tax-free event should be around. Yeah, for real. I agree. What else do we have here? You can now buy NBA Top Shot NFTs from vending machines in Japan. Wow. I think that's going to be a big thing for companies is NFTs. You know, actually established companies like Nike, NBA Top Shots, things like that. Let's move on to the rest of my bookmarks. So we saw where PayPal. Okay, Wall Street Bet says Ripple ROUSD overtakes Bitcoin SV, Satoshi Vision in market rankings. So much for Bitcoin SV is the real Bitcoin. It's more like which Ripple product do you prefer today? The crypto world never fails to keep us guessing. Well, I wasn't guessing on that. We knew that was coming. Spot sell 10 million and 20x long 50 million. Wow. They got it figured out, don't they? Doppler Finance RLUSD is gaining adoption, and Doppler is preparing to launch RLUSD Vault to help users earn yield. Okay, so Doppler looks like they're having a vault. Vault to me, I think that means kind of, you know, you hold your keys or you hold your share of the keys. So Doppler is a centralized XRP reward entity, and we know I'm not really trusting much centralized, but if they have some kind of a vault where we get to hold our keys, that's what we're waiting on. Just be careful out there, guys. You know, this whole XRP Fi thing, that sounds like a trendy word, XRP Fi. So just got to make sure it's trusted or trustless. Basically, you don't want to have to trust it to send and earn yield on your coins. You don't want to have to trust it. You want it to be trustless. No need to trust it, right? Better than that. Of course, Bo Hans is also saying the president's working group on digital assets has completed the 180-day report, and it will be released publicly on July 30th. America is now leading the way on the digital asset policy. And XRP was made in the USA. That's right, guys. Love it. USA coins. Take a look at those USA coins again. We like to jump all over on the connector stream. Let's go by market cap. The first USA coin by market cap is XRP, number 3. But it's number 1 in America. Solana's next. USDC, Dogecoin, Cardano, Sui, Stellar, Chainlink, and HBAR. So Stellar's only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7th in market cap. Now look at all that red. About time for a green day tomorrow. Like that. That was a good thing at the beginning here. If you guys missed the beginning on how Ethereum won't win at the end of the day, says Miller Value Partners, Bill Miller. Good take on that. You guys want to rewind after I'm done. What else did we have? We had the news of the Ripple expanding multi-chain interoperability last week with the wormhole integration. It's a little bit old, but I thought this was good. Let's get a little summary on this.
Hey, man. How's it going?
Summarize this in detail, please.
Sure thing. The page discusses Ripple's recent move to enhance interoperability across blockchain networks. They're integrating with Wormhole, a leading cross-chain protocol, to boost the XRP ledger's capabilities. This will allow smoother cross-chain messaging and asset transfers, which means digital assets can move more efficiently among different ecosystems. Ripple's embracing an open approach, aiming for a flexible and multi-chain ready ecosystem. The integration with Wormhole strengthens Ripple's position by enhancing its digital asset movement and showing its commitment to innovation in the blockchain space.
That's Ripple's strategy right here, guys. A good example of the super DEX. Issue your token on the XRP ledger so it will not be siloed off. They are making all of these connections, cross-chain connections, and now Wormhole's another one, enables 200 applications spanning 35 plus blockchain ecosystems. So that's really good to see XRP ledger integrating with everything else, it looks like. This is the market structure draft. It's a lot to read through. I was scanning through it the other day. Might do a video on summarizing that. It's just a draft though. What else do I have here? Let's check out the RLUSD stats right quick. What's the volume? We're down a little bit. $22 million in volume, and the fully diluted, or the total supply is 577 million RLUSD, accepted more and more by more institutions as a good collateral, as a form of payment, guys. That's going to be like an institutional payment. Okay, let's keep it going. What else do we have? Cointelegraph, Tether's gold token surged 40% in the past 12 months, mirroring institutional and central bank demand for gold. XAUTs, 259,000 tokens in circulation are backed by 7.6 tons of physical gold, with a market cap exceeding $800 million. So there's Tether's pivot. We saw that about a year ago. They pivoted to gold, or a gold option. XAUT. And actually there is, this is an actual gold representation token, a commodity token, which they have a website. You can send your XAUTs to create a Tether stablecoin. It's not USDT. It's another form of a Tether stablecoin. I can't remember what it's called right now. But yeah, that's a good backing. And maybe that's what they're trying to get. They've got 3 years, from what I understand, to be within compliance for the Genius Act. So there's a little window there everybody's working on. We've got X Finance Bull here. 50 plus banks already have Ripple IDs. Saw this from a while back. Ripple's, I guess this is RippleNet. Showing all the bank IDs. All the identifier. Not sure if that's a tag number or just like a RippleNet ID number. 500 banks, so. We've got the Bitcoin historian. New Grok AI predicts Bitcoin price will go up to 300% to hit $40,000 in the next 100 days. The most advanced AI in the world, he says. He's asking Grok, if you had to guess an exact date of when Bitcoin will first reach $400,000, when would it be? You have to give one date. Grok says November 2nd, 2025. We'll take it. Like it's getting the pass, grandfathered in. Maximum Phone Loan says you got to see what Loan just did. Well, let's check out Metal X. We like that metallic ecosystem. MetalX.com. Let's check out Loan Protocol. You guys know I've been getting those loan rewards, locking up coins for a couple years into the future. There's XPR. Silver Day says, shout out to Kenyon, the co-pilot. Let's see what Loan is doing. I'm not seeing much movement on Loan. There's an hour chart. Let's check out the 5-minute candle. But over the long run, of course, it's doing good. Let's look at the day candles. Looking good on the day candles for sure. Yeah, yesterday it did well. Nice. Go, baby, go. Okay. Smoke Dog says November 2025 ISO 20022 deadline will enable new digital asset use cases. Here he's got some documentation. Not sure where this is from, but it says with the 2025 deadline marking the end of the coexistence period for the SWIFT MT and the ISO 2022 messaging standards, financial institutions are accelerating efforts to align with the CBPR Plus roadmap. However, this transition is more than a compliance deadline. It is a structural shift towards enriching data, end-to-end interoperability, and future-proof infrastructure that enables new digital asset use cases. The future is bright, guys. Lizard King win SHX. It's moving along. SHX had a good run this year. Oh yeah, the bar chart says that the price of Bitcoin will go up if there are more buyers, and it will go down if there are not more buyers. Well, duh. Mia says, not just Bitcoin, below are public companies storing XRP reserves as their primary asset in their treasuries. So yeah, we've been keeping up with a lot of different companies. You know, I've always wondered, you know, are companies going to announce this stuff, and when are they going to get in? So they're starting to do that right here. Remember Trident? They have up to $500 million in XRP. And that was before it took off recently, right? With plans to raise funds for long-term XRP reserves and staking for yield and engagement with Ripple ecosystem. So there you go. Trident is going to be staking it. I wonder what they're going to use to stake it on. Are they using Flare? I think I did hear one of them were using Flare. Maybe it was Trident. Weebus International, $300 million in XRP. This is their internal treasuries, guys. They're going to be using it for loans and credit to build XRP reserves for global payments and transparency in operations. Transparency. Wow. Gary says, I'll take more pump from SHX. Not mad at all. Yep. Yep. TDLT's the goat for that. SHX, what a good call you had back in the day. Did he change his YouTube? I think is it XGLT or GLTX now? He changed it to something with an X in it. Or GXRP. I think that's what it was. We've got Thumbs Up Media. 250 million in XRP treasury reserves. Authorized crypto treasury, including XRP for diversified holdings. These companies are making some good calls. Vivo Power International, 121 million in XRP. Raise funds to accumulate XRP and stake on Flare network. There you go. It's good to see Flare is getting that account with XRPL DeFi. And of course, Well Logistics. Remember, guys, we saw Trump signed the executive order reducing the cost of pharmaceuticals by eliminating middlemen. And then Logistics at the same time, I think it was 2 days before or after, they announced a $50 million XRP treasury using XRP to eliminate middlemen, was the words out of their mouth. A GXRP, okay, good. You guys make sure you follow him. He hasn't streamed in a while, but I'm sure he'll be back. Nature's Miracle Holding, 20 million in XRP for equity financing for reserve staking and business payments. Hyperscale Data, 10 million, acquiring XRP for DeFi lending platform aimed at public companies. Guys, they're going to be making yield off of this stuff. And it's about time we do as well. Everything Blockchain Incorporated, 10 million in XRP. I guess these are tickers. EBZT. Let me see what we can find them. EZBT. Never heard of them. EZBT. Everything Blockchain. Nothing on Trading View. Oh well, we tried. Work Sport Limited. Oh, okay. OTs. Is that the that's the where it's at. So on NASDAQ, WorkSport is WKSP. But everything Blockchain is on OTCQB. That might be a foreign stock exchange. I'm not familiar. But WorkSport has a 5 million XRP treasury. I wish they would put the actual units instead of the amount, because that might be worth 10 million now. Who knows? XRP purchasing with excess cash, planning to accept crypto payments. WorkSport. Maximum FOMO says check loan on CoinGecko. Okay, so yeah, CoinGecko. I'll check actually on see what this one is. I guess they have centralized price feeds on CoinGecko. There's the 24-hour there. I'm not going to go to another site, but yeah, some of these metrics only come from centralized exchanges. So CoinGecko might not be calculating in this real price. And the real price is on chain, guys, right here, metalx.com. 0006. Which you've got on Live Coin Watch, 0008, almost 9. And it's only on La Token. If you don't go on chain on MetalX. Lizard King, at least 18 or 20%. That's why they charge us on credit cards. Fees everywhere they can get it. That's why I'm not a big fan. I know I've said it before, but that's just me, guys. I'm not a big fan of Chainlink because of Sergey touting all the fees that are going to be collected from their cross-chain solution. I mean, I know that's a good way to make money, but I just don't like the idea of some of these chains just totally forgetting about, the small guys, and they just want to keep collecting fees just like the bankers do, right? It's just like a new bank, right? When all they do is collect fees. When we've got solutions out there that are feeless. I mean, even, what is it? Axelar. They burn their fees, which increases the value of the token, which is not a bad way to do it, if you ask me. I don't know. Why is Algo trending? Haven't heard anything on it. We can look it up on X, I guess. There's no recent announcements on Algorand. Okay, we've got Bannon's War Room had Judy Shelton on. I think that Jerome Powell was setting himself up as some kind of emperor, says Judy. Oh, this should be good.
As far as the Federal Reserve, boy, do I welcome this. They really needed a comeuppance. For too long, the Fed has been accumulating power and prominence in financial markets. It's entirely too political itself. And I think that the chair, Jerome Powell, was setting himself up as some kind of an emperor who was going to sit in judgment. And yes, an elected president could come in and put forward their supply side program of lower taxes and less regulation and smarter trade policy and better energy policy. And the Fed would just sit there in judgment and decide if it would allow those things. And it really came to a head when Chair Powell made that speech at the Economic Club in Chicago. And I think he bought the farm when he did that, because finally the disconnect between the world of central banking and all the Americans who voted for President Trump and want those policy changes, who want an economy that's growing, who want an emphasis on the private sector, the real economy. Yeah. They just said, now, wait a minute. He's talking about tariff-caused inflation as if that's a done deal.
Yeah, and it's not done. We've got low inflation right now. So he needs to come off those interest rates, guys. He needs to bring them down. So, it seems like it's political, of course. Decisions. And that's horrible, guys. I think we can have bots running the currency better than what's going on right now.
It's time to call the Fed out on it. It can no longer just say, oh, then you're threatening the sanctity of central bank independence.
Oh, no.
Markets might get roiled. I'm telling you, we're going to see the central bankers double down. Because when Chair Powell goes to Europe and he gets toasted by Christine Lagarde, the head of the European Central Bank, and he gets a standing ovation as she says, oh, yes, we all hope to be as brave as he is in resisting. I presume she means being fired. I mean, no one got fired.
Resisting Trump. Yeah, they get praised for resisting Trump. Yeah, what is a foreign country doing praising the Fed's decision? Is that good for Americans? Hell no. Post 998, the chair serves the master. Yep. Yep. Fed and the Epstein case are related. We shall see. It's going to get interesting. I think we're getting there, guys. And it's all coming to a head. Is it a coincidence that the Ripple case is still going on at the same time? It hasn't ended yet. Wow. Maybe this August 30th digital assets report, maybe there'll be some clarity in it, guys. Fingers crossed.
When we hit 9% inflation, the highest in 40 years, and yet the Fed talks about transparency and accountability, but it's kind of cheap grace, because in the end, the Fed just keeps perpetuating its own power. It has wrong models, wrong mechanisms. It needs an entirely new construct. I welcome when Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent said we need fundamental reform. It matters a lot more than whether the Fed reduces 25 basis points in July versus September. And even the building renovation project, that's just the thread that we can now pull to unravel all of the problems at the Fed. Running at an operating... Lots
of problems at the Fed. Lizard, I thought that the appeal was dropped today. For the Ripple case, I hadn't heard about that. Even if the SEC decides to drop the appeal, it has to be approved by the judge still. And then after that, Judge Torres also has to drop the case, end the case. So there's got to be a final ruling or final closeout or whatever they call it. We're still in it, guys.
Loss since September 2022, over $900 billion in unrealized capital losses on its own portfolio. And for me, the worst, the Fed paying interest on reserve balances, which means it doesn't engage in open market operations to set monetary policy.
Right.
It dictates the interest rate in a free market economy.
Too much, way too much control in a free market economy. Free market loosely. That's what we're fighting for, guys, a level playing field right here. That's what Judy's fighting for.
It fixes the interest rate, the price of loanable capital, and it does it by paying banks not to make loans and not to put their money in
paying the banks not to make loans. What is that? You talking about holding the country back? Wow, guys, we could be so much better off.
Treasury securities, which would bring down those rates, which do affect the real economy. So I'm happy. I'll be meeting with Republican senators next week at their steering committee meeting.
This week?
We have a number of senators who are finally willing to exercise, I think, their constitutionally mandated oversight responsibility.
Oversight responsibility, finally. Wow.
Section 1, Article 8. They're supposed to regulate the money.
Yeah, that's what Congress does, supposed to regulate the money. They've had their hands tied behind their back with giving over their power to the Fed since 1913. And it's no coincidence that they gave the land to build the biggest army base in the world. They gave the land for Fort Bragg in 1913 as well to build that base, to get that military industrial complex going. Jeffrey Dahmer is Flare as sketchy as some detractors lead you to believe? Is the 100 billion supply actually limited? Good question. I don't know. Good question. I'm in loan protocol, and there's no limit on that, though. They have a, they can print it at will, I guess, whatever they decide to. But most of the tokens are locked up in long staking. The dollar is unlimited as well. So that is, I can't expect all coins to be deflationary. Some of them might have a long-term goal that needs to be at where they issue more tokens. It's kind of sketchy, though, at face value. But, if there's some kind of plan for it, who knows, especially if there's like a community governance on it to do that. That's a good thing. I don't know. I'm not sure about Flare, though. But, yeah, the Fed. Lots coming out about the Fed. It's pretty wild how Trump was just there last week looking at their Taj Mahal that they've built with our taxpayer dollars. A private company, a private bank using public funds. $3.2 billion. Oh, my God. We've got to fix this country, guys. We got to keep it going, keep up our high spirits, and get that level playing field we've been fighting for. I think I'm going to get out of here and go fix some dinner. You guys have a great day. Keep up the research. Look into some of these good projects coming out, guys. Look into Metallica's, Stellar, Ripple. San Francisco American companies are going to lead the way, it looks like. I'll see you on the next one, guys. Mr. Connector out. Peace, guys.